So today I wanted to try and see if we can beat Phayze using only middle path upgrades, which means that no top, no bottom, no cross paths, nothing like that. We're only going to be using the middle path on all of our towers, so we're going to see if it's possible to beat Phayze like this. So first off, well, I'm starting off from round 20, and I hope you guys are okay with this because usually the, well, you guys know how it goes. Usually these early rounds, you just keep placing farms, and the rounds are easy, and there's nothing really happening. So I thought, let me just start around 20, which is going to give me just enough time to explain what's happening and at the same time jump into the action. So the thing with these banks is that we're getting the basically the worst out of both paths. So the top path is forbidden, so that means it's not going to be making that much money, and the bottom path, which actually makes them auto collect themselves, is again forbidden. So it's like we're not going to be making that much money, and they're not going to be auto collecting, but that's totally fine because eventually, well, if you guys have noticed, we do have the snipers, and the well, one of the things that we can buy and we can use to farm is actually the middle path snipers. These the elite snipers and the supply drops. And in the recent update, what they did was whenever you activate the elite sniper tier 5 ability, it triggers all the supply drops, which means that this thing is so much less tedious in general. Okay, so our defense is kind of weak. So one bank is 3.8k, and I'm actually, well, I do have the money for a bank, but I'm actually not gonna buy the bank. I'm gonna buy this guy because I feel like our defense is lacking. And again, this guy's just gonna be a 0-3-0, so no bottom path for the attack speed, no top path for the extra damage, even though that's not the preferred one. And honestly, you know what, I'm just now realizing, but we don't even have the alchemists, which are, well, you need a top path if you want to have the, you know, the better alchemists. We don't have even those guys. So because we're only using the middle path, there are no paragons with this thing, which means that we are going to have to get creative for later on. And I actually do have a very specific plan in mind on how to defeat the later tiers, especially the tier 5. So it should be really interesting, and I'm really excited for this one. But for now, let's just try and figure out the tier 1. So for the tier 1, I'm looking to get this guy, the Moab Assassin. We need the camo village, so hopefully, you know, the money's fine. I guess the money's a little bit locked up right now because all of the money is in the well, it's in the banks, and if we hit collect now, that means that we're losing a lot of interest in the future. So it's not in our best interest to collect or nor sell them, actually, even though, you know, selling them and getting the let me just buy this, selling them and getting the money is going to basically buy us the eliminator, but that's not a good idea. And actually, yeah, this round is getting a little bit close, and I'm a little bit worried that we might be able to create a, and as I'm saying that, no, okay, so regular farm isn't happening, but we are leaking. So this sniper up top is not defending by himself. He's gonna need a lot of help. So these 0-3-0 snipers are actually pretty bad on their own, it looks like. Okay, so I should probably be kind of paying attention to this crusher. This crusher is going to do a lot of work, I feel like, especially until we get I guess until we get more snipers up and running. But that's a limb number 2, and I think that these two guys under this 0-2-0 village, they should be doing pretty much fine versus this boss. I mean, this is a super long map, and I feel like that's gonna play to our advantage because we definitely don't have the damage. It's gonna be really, especially later on. I'm really excited for the later tiers. Are we even taking down the normal rounds? I'm wondering. I'm actually gonna save the crusher for 47 because this one is going to have a lot of ceramics, so I'm probably gonna use it now. Actually, these snipers are not defending. I got 2 of those and they're just not defending. So let me use it now. I think that was a good crush, actually. I think I got like at least 2 ceramics under it. And probably Benji's ability, is it needed? It's not looking like it's needed. So yeah, I think we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so last call. These abilities are doing a lot of damage. Let me just check on the banks. It's 6,500 that they have, so we are a little ways off until we can collect for them. Well, actually we can collect now, but it's just losing a lot of money and leaving money on the table. So one more bouncing bullet just for round 49 because it's gonna be a mess with ceramics, and I'm probably gonna use the crusher if it's ready for that round as well. And just talking about 49, look at what's happening at 48. Like, these guys are struggling to defend, and we have entire ceramics that are ready to go. I think we popped it, actually. That was a little bit close, but I think we popped it, yeah. Now, it's like one more ability after this, and the boss is done. So let me get ready for defending, actually. So it's 49. The crusher is ready if we need it. And the radar jam is active. So let me just use the crusher and just kind of watch the Moab Assassin ability and the radar jam. And actually, you know what? Watch even the normal round, because these ceramics are making it all the way up to the end. So let me use Ben's ability. And is this... No. Okay, so let's collect from these guys. I mean, we're gonna leave a lot of money on the table, but I feel like we have to do this because we're just not defending the round. So let me get the elite sniper. This should take care of the rounds by itself. And let me just buy as many supply drops as I can. That's How much was that? That was like 2 supply drops. There goes the boss, by the way. And I'm gonna sell one of these guys, one of the Olymps. So I'm gonna sell, I guess, the one on the left, and I'm gonna leave this guy because he's gonna become an eliminator eventually. Let me buy this thing actually. Let me buy the IMF loan. And I actually plan on taking a little bit of loans to buy these snipers. I think that's gonna end up paying for itself, right? That's gonna be good long term. I mean, it's how it works in life, so it should work like that in BD6, right? Okay, so all of these guys are off cooldown, so I feel like we use the elite sniper now, and then I'm gonna upgrade one more, and I feel like we have to. No, actually, I'm gonna do one more because we have 6.4 and one supply drop is like 7.2. So I'm gonna buy this one. Oh, I don't even have the bouncing on this one. Okay, never mind. So let's take on that, I guess. Let's buy the supply drop, and that is it. So the sniper army is ready. And we're doing a little bit of damage to it, but we need to get the Moab limb in order to... wait, I don't even have this guy upgraded. So let me... I thought I had that one bought, but let's complete our supply drop army and let's start worrying about the boss. So these guys are actually doing a decent amount of damage, but that's because there are a lot of Moabs beneath it. So let me collect from these guys. Let me buy the Eliminator. And I feel like this is... yeah, the Eliminator should be more than enough. Oh yeah, look at the damage. So the Elim is more than enough to deal with this thing, and the only problem is going to be how long is the Eliminator going to take in beating this boss because of the radar jam. So it's a fairly quick cooldown, but it's going to be one ability per radar jam. So it's like one ability every 12 seconds that it's going to be. So it is going to take a little bit of time until this guy gets the job done, but I'm confident that he will. So the Elim is doing actually well. I think it's going to need like 2 more abilities to beat this thing. Yeah, there we go. I feel like, yeah, maybe even these snipers are going to finish the job actually, because there's a lot of balloons beneath the boss. So, but there it is. There's the Elim ability, and that is tier 2. And we should start getting ready for the 3rd tier actually. And this guy, this is where things are starting to get interesting. So, yeah, let me just click one more ability, and this should be, yeah, that's more than enough money. Let's get the Monkeynomics ability. This thing actually makes money. And yeah, just get a few snipers, and that's going to be tier 3 incoming in a second. I actually want to get the MAD, because the MAD is a tower that we actually can buy in this challenge. And I'm like, here's the thing, we need to have the MAD on a high ground, and all these high grounds are taken from the snipers. So I feel like I should probably be selling one of these guys. So let me just buy it. Let's get the... wait a minute. I just bought the 130. I just realized that. Nope. Sell that. Let's get the 050. I mean, I'm not planning. It was like a reflex that I bought it, guys. It's like, you know how these things go. But let's get the 050. We obviously want the worst for us, so no top hat for the focus fire, no bottom hat for the pierce. It's just this one. I guess the silver lining is that this thing does a lot of damage, so it's like, oh my god, look at that ability go everywhere. Yeah, that ability isn't doing anything to anyone. But I guess the silver lining for this one is going to be that this tower is actually kind of decent versus a tier 3. Although I do question how good it's going to be versus the other tiers. But for now, I think we just have this thing in the bag. And also the Eliminator is doing a little bit of damage. So, okay, so that was the last jump from this guy. And as these rounds are kind of exiting, I'm kind of thinking about the problems that we're going to have for the next few tiers, and that is, I guess, one of the solutions that I'm thinking of is getting the Ultra Boost, because the Ultra Boost is again a millipede, so I'm going to be 10 times Ultra Boosting this MAD. But even versus like something like the tier 4 and the tier 5, I'm still questioning how much damage it's going to do. So this is again another tier 5 that I want to get the Homeland, and let me just keep overclocking, aka Ultra Boosting this thing. And you know, see what happens for the tier 4, because that thing is coming pretty soon, and we need a lot of stuff. Well, we need money, and we need to find a way to deal with the small balloons basically. So I clicked the sniper abilities a couple of times, and we have 150,000, which is not a lot of money, but I'm kind of seeing this. Well, it's the same problem that I've talked about for a while, and it's these ceramic balloons are making it way too far, and there's no actual clear way for me to deal with this thing. Well, I've been looking at these towers, and actually I think I came up with a solution, which is going to be the anti-balloon, which is a middle pad. That's basically the middle pad super, and I feel like that might be... let me just try and fit it here. So let me just buy the anti-balloon. I'm gonna have one of the arms actually on close. That's how I usually like doing it. I don't like having one on last. So basically this guy, even though he has innate camo detection, because we can't buy the bottom pad, I'm going to have to fill a village. So let me try and see. Does this reach? Let me buy a 020. And so the plan for this guy is that the, well, the MAD is, let me just, oh my god, what am I doing? So the plan for this thing is to to beat it with the ultra boosted super buffed Mad, which currently has 10 ultra boost stacks on it, and I have the Homeland ability on it. So hopefully when all of this thing is going to town on Phayze, it should do well. So this is pretty much, this and the Limb are pretty much the only two things that I have versus this one, and it's looking, well, it's looking good because that was skull number 1, but keep in mind we used a lot of abilities. So let me keep ultra boosting this thing, and actually I'm more concerned at this point about the well, at least for tier 4. For tier 5 I'm concerned. I don't know what we're doing for tier 5. I'm just kind of worried about these ceramics. Look at these ceramics go. I mean, look at these ceramics at the top right. They are going way too far. Let me just clean them out with the ability. Yeah, that ability is gonna be doing a lot of work later on, I feel like. Yeah, this is an easy one actually. This was an easier one than expected with a little bit of different problems, with the problems being actually everything else but the boss, because these, oh my god, look at these ETs. Yeah, they're making it way too far. Okay, so one more tier remaining, and I think I'm actually gonna jump straight before the boss ends because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I want to talk about it a little bit more in a second. So I will see you guys in just a bit. Tier 5 is about to come out, and can you see the strategy what I'm trying to do? I'm gonna be doing the basically the PMFC in combination with a total transformation. So these are both millipede upgrades, and I have the Plasma Monkey fan club. That's basically the one dart, which is, well, at this point is because I locked it there. It's basically below the heli, but it's surrounded with a couple of Dark Monkeys, and then I have the Total Transformation, which is again a millipede, and I have a couple of Shinobi Ninjas. And so these Shinobis are again the millipede, and what happens is, and I'm sure you guys know this, but if you transform these guys, the Shinobi buff actually carries over to the Transform Monkey. So that's a little bit of a strategy that I had planned for this thing. I also bought the Call to Arms, which is going to give us basically 100% uptime on these village abilities. And I'm a little bit afraid from these ceramics, so basically I bought an absolute 0 in the top right corner, and then it's the Marine Heli, which is again a millipede, and then just the Carpet of Spikes, which is just another millipede, which is very good versus basically Moab class balloons. During these rounds, I also 10 times ultra boosted the anti-balloon because I am very worried about the small balloons actually, so I feel like we need a lot of DPS just to deal with them. These snipers are becoming less effective, but I didn't sell the snipers because there is this monkey knowledge which slows the ceramic balloons briefly, and that thing I feel like is doing a lot of work with these snipers, so I just kept them for that one. And I mean, just as I predicted, I don't want to say I called it, but these smaller balloons, they are going to be making it a little bit further. So let me use the first Holy Transformation, and I feel like we're gonna be able to get a few more uses actually before it leaves the basically the top right portion, which is where we're the strongest at. So let's see how these guys are doing and how much damage they're doing. Oh my god, the boss is just, well, the boss just went into everything. So let's just get ready for everything. Let's just get ready for the abilities. So the Plasma Monkey fan club is ready. Let me just lock this guy in place, and let's use the Plasma Monkey, use the what else am I using? The Homeland, and yeah, we can probably start using the small ones actually when the Plasma Monkey runs out. Okay, we're gonna have one more punch at this boss basically before it leaves the range of our towers. So the PMFC is ready, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm just kind of looking at these other abilities. Yeah, everything's ready, so I think it's time to go. I think it's time to use the PMFC, and then I'm looking at the Call to Arms, the Mad ability, Call to Arms, Total Transformation. What else? What am I missing? Well, Carpet of Spikes and Wizard Lord Phoenix are coming out in a second, so let's use both of those as well. Well, we have the Mad ability on cooldown, get the Ultra Boost going, and that is, let's just see what these guys can do. So they're really trying their best. Okay, so when this guy makes it back to the right side, that's when our last punch is gonna be. So I'm kind of trying to do as much damage as possible, I guess, with the Mad before he arrives there. And basically we're gonna use all the other abilities and the Total Transformation, the PMFC for, I guess, for one last time, and see if they can take it down. But it's, I mean, I gotta say, one of these things about Phayze is that because the spawn point is getting moved, look at where all of the other balloons are making it. I mean, look at these UMGs, have to use an ability just for them. That monkey knowledge that stuns these balloons a little bit, that just came in clutch right there. But Phayze is kind of moving close to our defenses where our main forces are. So okay, so PMFC, let's get everything going. I forgot about the Limb. I just clicked it, but I completely forgot about the Limb. I think that's everything. Use the Marine ability, and yeah, this thing is, look at them go. Everything is just going at it, and I feel like, yeah, we absolutely have this thing, guys. Let me just use these small ones, the Super Monkey fan club, do as much damage as possible. I mean, use the absolute 0, why not? But we take this thing down and use the anti-balloon, overclock this thing for one last time, and that's it. So we actually do take it down. We actually beat Phayze using only millipede, which was a lot harder than I expected. I feel like if we had some water towers, like maybe we could have placed a sub or something like that, that would have been a lot easier. but we don't. So this is what happened. But that was a very fun run, and yeah, we beat Phayze using only millipede towers. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.